Hey everyone, my name is Whitney and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome. In today's video, we will be doing something that is long overdue. This is actually an analyzation of Classically Abby's Why We Should Not Believe All Women video. If you don't know who Classically Abby is, she's this girl on YouTube who has been putting ads up all over the place. You know what? Let's just get into the video and let's just let it speak for itself. Everybody, welcome Abby.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Sorry, I just thought that would be funny to do. I don't know.
Welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about why #BelieveAllWomen is a problem. I want to start off this video by saying I don't think that these issues are easy. I don't think that we should take sexual assault lightly, and that for women who go through this, it's incredibly painful and it's really difficult to know how to deal with it. So I'm not at all downplaying that. I don't want to make anyone feel like this is an attack video on women who do come out and say that they've been through something.
But what you're about to say will more than likely dissuade victims of sexual assault to come forward. If you have been sexually assaulted, whether you're a man, a woman, child, whatever, it is not your fault and it should have never happened. And again, it's not your fault. I believe you and I'm here for you. There will be links listed in the description box. I encourage you to speak up, to tell your story, and to let other victims know that you survived. Even though it's tough hearing that it's happened to other people, it's also very reassuring to know that you're not alone. And I'm sure all of you who have been sexually assaulted know that. Let's just keep going.
I still look at the #BelieveAllWomen movement as a problem, and I want to talk about why. There are two reasons that #BelieveAllWomen is a problem. One, it's a lie. And two, even if it were true, it shouldn't be. Let's deal with number one first. It's a lie. #BelieveAllWomen started after Brett Kavanaugh was nominated for the Supreme Court. Tons of women came out and said that he had sexually assaulted them, Christine Blasey Ford being at the forefront of all of this. A lot of people did not want Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court.
I can sure see why people didn't want him in office. So he is for firing people if you don't like their sexual orientation, but it's not okay to go ahead and lie about things, especially those that are of sexual assault, something so serious. And she's separating this as a male versus female thing. So we're gonna play it out like that. So Brett Kavanaugh would be 2 to 10% of men who are wrongly accused of rape or sexual assault. What that means is that there wasn't enough evidence to prove that it happened. So I'm gonna lean more towards the 2%. I think a lot of the cases there just isn't enough evidence, and I mean it's freaking hard to get evidence. Even if it is 10%, that means 90% of women have been sexually assaulted. That is only accounting for women who have reported having been sexually assaulted. Why would somebody not report sexual assault? Well, there are a lot of reasons. One of them, people like Abby. Here's another one. A lot of people refuse to believe it happened.
No, he wouldn't do that. He's not that type of guy.
Hun, your husband can't rape you. That's something that happens in the back of an alley.
People tend to justify the rape or the sexual assault.
Well, what were you wearing?
Why were you there?
Were you drinking?
Were you acting promiscuously?
Did you lead him on?
Did you talk about having sex with him?
Why didn't you stop him?
Why didn't you go to the police?
How come you didn't tell anyone about this right away?
Where's your proof?
Amongst numerous other things. Those are just some of the reasons why a lot of people don't come forward. And when I say people, I'm talking about men and women and children who have been sexually assaulted.
It was discovered afterward that many women had lied and said that he had sexually assaulted them with crazy stories that were unbelievable.
Just because something may seem unbelievable doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. If we're going to talk about things that are crazy to believe, let's just use this one as an example. Let's say God, okay? I believe in a higher power, so I'm not trying to rain on anybody who does. I'm just saying that some of the stories you hear are unbelievable, right? That doesn't mean that it's not true. You know what I'm saying?
But people on the left still said #BelieveAllWomen. All women should be believed, no matter what the evidence says. No matter that there should be due process, we should throw due process out the window. If a man is accused of sexual assault, it doesn't matter what the evidence says, he is guilty.
Personally, I feel like Abby is taking this to the extreme. Now, I don't know about you guys. You can let me know in the comments below. What do you think believe all women actually means? When the hashtag believe all women came to be, we already know 2 to 10% of people who say that they have been sexually assaulted is not true. Therefore, we wouldn't believe everybody. So, what my common sense tells me is that believe all women doesn't necessarily mean that we should believe all women. It means that sexual assault is a very big deal, and the majority of women who have reported sexual assault are not falsely reporting. It's saying we need to be more considerate towards people who come to us saying that they have been sexually abused. It's saying that we shouldn't just dismiss it. Believe all women doesn't exactly just mean that women are the only ones who are sexually assaulted, right? We know that men can be sexually assaulted. We know that children are sexually assaulted, boys and girls. And people like to bring up the fact that, well, men are sexually assaulted too. Yeah, they are. And could you think of a reason why men would not come forward and say that they've been sexually assaulted by a woman? First thing I think of is, look at how many people victim shame women when they've been sexually abused, and how many people don't believe them, and how difficult it is for them to actually get justice. Another thing is that society tells us that men need to be macho and that could never happen to a man or whatever. If you just look at even some of Abby's other videos, it's kind of contradicting, because she makes it a point to say that it basically, to me, what I'm getting at is that sexual assault is the woman's fault because of what she was wearing or whatever. She makes men out to be very visual and all they can think about is sex. But it's so strange because here she is defending men, saying that men don't do that, which no, not all men do. It's just, it's kind of weird, you know? Also, due process is not going anywhere, honey. It doesn't mean that when somebody comes and says, hey, I've been sexually abused. All right, who did it? Well, it was that person over there. All right, put them in jail, take them away, lock them up, burn them at the stake. Come on now. How many times has that actually happened? Believe All Women is saying that the accused, they shouldn't be locked away right away, that they still deserve due process, but that we should believe whoever says they've been sexually abused and make them feel safe, because more than likely they have been sexually assaulted. Therefore, it's more dangerous if we do not believe the person who says they've been sexually assaulted.
The left used this as an axe to wield to force us into submission and make us feel like we had to agree or we would be bad people for doubting a woman's accusations.
You can totally doubt people. At least 2% are false claims. So it's perfectly reasonable for people to have doubt. And that's just human nature. Obviously, we're gonna have skepticism about certain things. I do think there are certain situations where we need to ensure that we protect people who are most likely in need of protection. So it's important that you make the person who comes to you saying that they've been sexually assaulted, that you make them feel safe and you make them feel like you believe them. Now, here is an excellent way that you can maintain your doubt without insinuating that the person coming to you is lying. That is horrible. That should never have happened. I am sorry you went through that. We definitely need to have this investigated so that justice can be served. That way you're not immediately siding with one person or the other, and you're not alienating, most likely, a victim.
Now, let's look at the news today. Joe Biden is being accused by Tara Reade. Tara Reade has come out and said that she believes that Biden sexually assaulted her. These same people who said #BelieveAllWomen are now saying, we don't believe all women, we side with Joe Biden. How crazy is that? Did the goalposts move, or what are we doing here?
I feel like Abby is more upset with the political side of things than she is upset about people being sexually assaulted. I see what she's saying though. Like, how come it's a one-way street politically? It is upsetting. However, I actually find this kind of ironic or strange because watching a lot of her other videos, a lot of the things she says are one-sided. I'm just gonna use this as an example. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna say that she would consider a sports bra and workout shorts to be raunchy. And I feel like, you know, if I were to be outside running, I don't run, but you know what I'm saying. If I were to be outside running wearing that and a guy were to be out shirtless and in shorts running, it would be perfectly fine for him to do that. But for me, wearing a sports bra and workout shorts, it's not okay. So a lot of the things that she says are completely one-sided.
As a woman, I look at this and I think to myself, I don't believe all women.
I know you don't believe all women, Abby. You've made that very obvious in the first couple minutes of your video.
I don't want to get rid of due process.
Again, I think she's taking believe all women completely wrong, which I completely understand because I often take words literally. Like when people say, you need to get your together. I always think that's such an odd choice of words because what is the literal definition of, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna go and... However, no one said to get rid of due process. Now, I can see how she could go from here to here thinking A is going to lead to B, which is going to lead to C. So A leads to C. So believe all women is A. I guess due process would be G. I don't know, somewhere over there. That's great. She can think forward like that. That's awesome. However, I really don't think that's where her mindset was. Nobody is saying, let's get rid of due process. What they're saying is, let's not downplay sexual assault.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Innocent until proven guilty, huh? Well, I guess for the man, because from what it sounds like is you're saying that the woman is guilty of lying until she is proven innocent. Again, 90 to 98% of women are telling the truth.
And you need to bring proof.
How many of you who have been sexually abused have proof? I didn't. Most people don't. Because it can't be proven, oftentimes it's taken very lightly because some women lie. So we need to protect men more than we need to protect the victims who have been sexually assaulted. Even when there is concrete proof, a lot of times that person serves like 6 months, maybe a couple of years, and then they're let go. It's just like, oh, hey man, yeah. Have a good one. Like, I know you made a mistake in the past. It's all good. Like, try not to make it. Try not to rape anybody else, okay, dude? Good luck. We're rooting for you, man. If somebody has sexually abused someone, it is extremely likely that they have done it to other people before and that they are going to do it again. Just look at all of the cases that you see in the news and everything. Why do we let these people out? Why do we give them the opportunity to ruin more people's lives? Why do we allow them to be like, hey, yeah, you traumatically gave this poor person PTSD and gave them so many complexes and a bunch of other things that words can't even explain, but you deserve a second chance, or a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. because you just made some bad choices. It's ridiculous. So what I'm saying to you is to believe anybody who comes to you saying that they have been sexually assaulted. Because statistically speaking, more likely than not, they have indeed been sexually assaulted. So who are we actually trying to protect here? I personally feel like our focus is completely off. Yes, it is very unfair to be falsely accused, and that should not happen. However, I think if we started asking questions like,
how can we get guys to stop sexually assaulting women?
How can we get people to stop abusing their power?
how can we make it easier for victims to come forward?
How can we make victims feel safe?
How can we help victims overcome what has happened to them?
How can we ensure that it does not happen to them or anybody else? What can we do to protect future women, future children, and anybody who most likely will be sexually assaulted? How can we protect them? How can we make the 98% number go down honestly? Not just saying, hey, don't report it, that number's gonna be lower. Because you don't have tests, you don't have numbers. Something else entirely. But you get what I'm saying?
It's simply not true that these people believe you should believe all women. They believe you should believe all women if that woman is on their side. And I find that despicable.
I could argue with myself. I've done it numerous times before, and I certainly will do it again, and say, now, Whitney, she's just using this as an example, you know, because that's how she started the video off. Seeing as false rape allegations make up 2 to 10%, there probably wasn't much to choose from for her examples. So let's say that that's what it is. Highly unlikely, because she's made it very clear that she is a conservative, which is perfectly fine, whatever. I don't care what your political stance is. Personally, I don't really identify one way or the other because I side with what I believe to be true, and I don't just stick to one team or the other. I go and say, no, I don't believe that this is right, so I'm not going to say you're right. I believe that they're right, so I'm gonna say that they're right. I follow my moral compass. I follow ethics, how I believe in my heart what is right. I really get the feeling that she is far more upset about how it has negatively impacted political officials, or how it could potentially negatively impact them, or how it is impacting them negatively.
Now, I'm not saying that I believe Tara Reid. I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to say that I'm on her side.
I really didn't think you would side with Tara Reid, but thank you for confirming that. Now, I thought that this was just another one of her internalized misogynistic views. However, it's not so much about men versus women. It's more about right versus left. And she does a great example of proving this by using Joe Biden. Also, turns out that her brother is Sharpie Boy, Ben Shapiro. Honestly, I didn't know how to say his name I don't really pay too much attention to politics. This has been the most I've ever gotten into politics because, my God, I have seen how much help we really need. Anyways, I think of Sharpie whenever I see his name. Maybe it has something to do with my dyslexia, whatever. But yeah, he's a Republican, conservative Republican. It makes sense, right? This is the agenda. Let's get women on our side by using this lady here. Let's do our best to have her convince those who do not keep up with politics on who they should vote for.
Because the fact is, Joe Biden deserves due process, as do all men.
That was an excellent tactic right there. Joe Biden deserves due process, as do all men. Blown away, Abby. You did an excellent job in persuading people who to vote for. Like, I'm a conservative and Over here, we don't believe all women. We don't say something and then take it back when it doesn't meet our agenda. But we're so awesome that we're gonna say Joe Biden deserves due process, because he does. And so do all men, because they're pretty much more important than any victim of sexual assault.
So that leads us to point number 2. Even if it were true, it shouldn't be. Even if people on the left truly subscribed to #BelieveAllWomen, it still wouldn't be a good thing. Because you have to have due process. Innocent until proven guilty is really important.
Abby, nobody ever said we're getting rid of due process. More than anything, I think she is really setting into the whole due process. If you lean to the left, or if you vote to the left, they're gonna get rid of due process. That's what you're voting for. You're voting to get rid of due process. If you vote for the right, we get to keep due process. That's what will happen. Wow, how sneaky and slimy is that? It doesn't matter who you vote for, due process isn't going anywhere. So please, stop saying we need to have trials. We need to investigate. There needs to be due process, because yeah, nobody said there doesn't need to be that. I'm pretty sure the majority of people would agree that due process is a good thing, which is why you make it seem like if they don't vote for who you want them to vote for, that we will lose due process. That's not gonna happen, honey. You know it. I feel like her video is definitely targeted to people who are not in politics or who don't know who to vote for. This just reminds me of when I was in junior high. We had the junior high and the high school together. So we junior high kids, we would get to vote for homecoming king and queen and all that. And we had no idea who these people were. We would get these sheets of paper and we were supposed to circle who we thought should be prom king and prom queen. I remember so many kids being like, I don't even know who these people are. And the teacher being like, doesn't matter, just circle one. It's not a big deal. Sometimes kids would be in there like, I'm gonna vote for so-and-so because I like their name, or their name has as many letters as mine, so let's vote for them. I remember one time I don't remember her name, but I remember she handed me a sucker and on the tag it said vote for, and it said her name. So I did, because she gave me a sucker. Nobody else gave me anything else. I really believe that that's who she's targeting, or who her brother is using her to target.
Think about your husband, think about your son, think about your father. If somebody wanted to ruin his life in one sentence, they could, and there would be no repercussions for it.
If somebody came to me and said that my brother, my husband, or whatever sexually assaulted them, that would be a hard pill to swallow. That would suck. I'm not gonna just say, no, so-and-so would never do that, because I know people who I thought would never do something who have done something. I know what it's like to tell the truth and have nobody believe you. I'm not saying that I don't support these men in my life. What I am saying is that if somebody came to me, I wouldn't be like, well, where's your proof? I would say, all right, I know what it's like to be sexually abused. I don't stand for it. Let's get this investigated. Let's get this all figured out. Honestly, if whoever man in my life did sexually assault somebody, chances are they're gonna do it again, and they're gonna do it to somebody else. I know that. Yeah, I have a relationship with that person. That doesn't mean it's gonna be freaking insanely difficult to just push everything off. But guess who would need me more? And if somebody were falsely accusing the men in my life of such horrific things, I would definitely be upset. But I will not let that stand in the way of the true statistics that 98% of women who come forward have been sexually assaulted. Everyone who has been sexually assaulted in any way knows what it's like, knows the lifelong effects it has. 98% of people go through that. That is far too freaking many. One is too many. And think about your husbands, think about the men in your life. Really? How about think of the women in your life? Think of your mother. Think of your sister. Think of your best friend. I'm just saying, I think we need to put our energy into focusing mainly on how can we prevent sexual assault from happening. And honestly, when women come forward however many years later or whatever, people are like, well, why didn't you come forward sooner? Hi, Prince. You want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, so cute. He's the true star. He's missed you guys so much. He hasn't been on Prinstagram lately. He's been busy with Fifi. I feel like a lot of women who come forward, especially later on in life, are doing so because other people have come forward. Therefore, they feel safe. And then they feel like, oh my God, he did this to you. He did this to me too. Who else has he done this to? If I say something, maybe somebody else will say something too. I think with how the majority of society views men more importantly than women, or tries to protect them more so than women, makes it very difficult for survivors of sexual assault to come forward. And especially when that guy is so far up the ladder now, or if he has a lot of money or whatever, the woman is just going to get more hate. Honestly, I really don't think that it would be an easy thing to do to say that, hey, he sexually assaulted me, because you know there are a lot of people who would defend that man and who would harass that woman. It's not something a lot of victims want to deal with. There is so much victim shaming even after it happens. First, you know, you have people who don't believe you. You have people that ask those stupid questions. What were you wearing? You have people say, well, why didn't you go to the police right away? Why didn't you get a rape kit done right after it happened? Instead, you decided to shower. Well, I'm sorry, Karen, but after you've been sexually assaulted or raped, a lot of times the first thing you want to do is shower, because you want to cleanse your body of them. You want to forget that it ever even happened. You don't want to talk about it. It's already traumatic. You already feel embarrassed. You feel alone. You feel scared. You feel unsafe. You feel ashamed. You feel like it's your fault. Not to mention then having to worry about being pregnant or having an STD, amongst many other things. And honestly, do you know how much more traumatizing it is to have to tell person after person? You're gonna have to tell multiple officers. You're gonna have to tell multiple people at the hospital what happened. You're gonna have to relive every second of that right after it's happened. I personally haven't had a rape kit done, but I've heard that they just add a lot more stress to things, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a rape kit done if you've been raped. I'm saying to people who have never had this happen to them, I'm saying that they don't realize, that you guys don't realize how difficult it is. You put everything back onto the victim once again. It's, well, why did you shower right away? You should have just went to the hospital, and you should have went to the police. Again, you're victim shaming. You're telling people, yeah, well, I'm here for you. But if you wanted people to believe you, then this is what you should have done. Let's put the blame back where the blame needs to be. If he would have never raped her, she would have never needed to get a rape kit or report a rape in the first place. Okay? So whose fault is it really? I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry. It's people like this who make it so difficult when what you're going through is already difficult enough. You don't need that type of on top of it. I get the importance of maintaining the innocence of an innocent person, an innocent man. However, there's a 90 to 98% chance he is not innocent, and that she's telling you the truth. I feel like people put far more importance on the possibility of the man being innocent than they do of a woman having been sexually assaulted. A lot of women don't come forward for numerous reasons. They are shamed. There's just so much to it. And they get blamed for trying to ruin a man's life. I'm just gonna tell y'all a story. These people that I worked with, but they were talking about how these women were coming out with sexual assault allegations towards a man who was some news reporter or something, but how he lost his job because of them. Wow. You want to know what was said? It's in the past. It happened a long time ago. You should have said something then. You can't tell me that you didn't ever flirt with him or you didn't think he was good looking. I'm sorry, but when did flirting and thinking somebody is good looking equal consent? They also made these claims like, well, you slept your way to the top. Would somebody who has power ever abuse that power? Ever say, hey, look, the only way you're ever gonna get anywhere is if you do something for me? Well, let's take a look at the police. How many times have they used their power against people who were entirely innocent? Right, just because some cops are bad doesn't mean they all are bad. Yeah, well, we shouldn't have any bad cops. I'm just saying. I want good cops to protect me, not bad ones, because I don't believe the bad ones will protect me. But what's even more than this is that a lot of these women that I worked with would say, yeah, like that's just how it is. Guys are gonna sexually harass you and say things to you and try to do stuff or touch you inappropriately and whatever, and that's just how it is. It happened to me. I didn't go complaining about it. Well then, you know what? You're part of the problem. If you're just saying that these women just need to shut their mouth because that's what I did, that's not okay. It's not like saying, hey, I had to do chores when I was younger. Kids today should have to do chores too. No, it's not, hey, I was sexually assaulted, so every woman should be sexually assaulted. No, 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 no. No, shame on you. If you have been sexually assaulted, personally, I would think you would want to protect people who have been sexually assaulted as well. Obviously, that's not the case. Some of these women have daughters. Is that what you would tell your daughter? I would hope not. I hope if your daughter came to you, whether it be after it happened or years after it happened, I hope you would be there for her. And I hope that you would tell her that what happened to her wasn't okay. I hope that you wouldn't say, that's just how it is. Well, you did think he was cute. You know, stupid stuff like that. That just pushes rape culture, you guys. We need that to stop. It's not just about the women today. It's about the children today. It's about future generations. We need to teach them not to go sexually assaulting people. And we need to teach them that we will be there for them when they come to us.
I'm not trying to come up with statistics of how many women have lied.
Just in case you're wondering, the statistics on how many women have lied are 2 to 10%. However, a lot of those are only cases where there has not been substantial evidence. So I'm leaning towards it's probably more like 2%, maybe 5%, whatever. Still, 10% is still less than 90%.
But there is always a chance that women will lie and say that, hey, this guy did something horrible to me.
Yes, there is always that chance. Like I said, there are better ways to address it than you're a freaking liar. How about saying, oh my God, that's horrible. Let's investigate this and get justice.
The worst punishment possible. But if he didn't and we sentence him to that, well, some women might take advantage of that. And that's really scary.
Yeah, it is scary, but you know what's even scarier? Having rapists walking in the streets. We all know, most likely, sexual assault has taken place. I would honestly rather believe a woman who is lying and wrongfully send an innocent man to jail than to wrongfully accuse a woman of lying and just letting a sexual predator walk free so that he can do it again to however many people he wants. I do understand that it's not okay for men to be wrongfully accused and wrongfully convicted. That is very important. However, I think we need to focus more of our energy on how can we get sexual assault to stop happening and get those numbers down ethically. And then once we get those numbers to diminish to, let's say, 2 to 10% of women are sexually abused, then let's worry about both. How about that? I mean, I feel like that's reasonable, but I know that there needs to be people standing up for innocent men, which again, I'm not gonna say get rid of due process because I don't believe we should. I'm saying you can still be skeptical and doubt people without being a total or a total.
Sexual assault should not be taken lightly on either side of the scenario.
Then why do you make it seem as if you're not going to believe anybody who comes to you saying that they've been sexually assaulted and that you're going to believe the man is innocent until you actually have proof?
A woman says that she's been sexually assaulted, we need to investigate that. But we also can't immediately assume that she's telling the truth. Men have a right to due process. And as women, we should be looking for truth. Truth doesn't necessarily side with gender. It just sides.
Oh my God, Abby, again, due process is not going anywhere. So she's saying,
You want due process? Hey, vote for who I want you to vote for if you want to keep due process. If not, well, say goodbye to your lovely due process.
which that's not gonna happen. She doesn't say that word for word, of course not, but I can read between the lines. Election. It's getting closer to election. We need more votes, right? Got it. Also, Believe All Women isn't intended to automatically put the accused person into prison. It's meant to amplify the importance of how many people face sexual assault and how traumatizing sexual assault is, and how more often than not sexual assault has occurred. Not everything's about politics, Abby. But I guess it is when your brother's Ben Shapiro.
With what really happened. The hashtag Believe All Women movement was never real. It was created to wield as a hammer against Brett Kavanaugh and have the right fall in line. And as soon as it wasn't working in the favor of the people who created it, they threw it out when it was inconvenient. And on top of that, Believe All Women should never have existed in the first place. You investigate and make sure that there is proof of what happened so that people's lives aren't ruined because they were guilty until proven innocent.
Guilty until proven innocent. Not for the men, but only for the women. Classically Abby. Sorry, that was rude.
That's never been the way America has worked, and we are lucky to live in a country where we are innocent until proven guilty.
Only if you're a man.
I do want to reiterate that if you've been sexually assaulted, that's a horrible thing, and of course it should be taken seriously. Those accusations should be listened to. But we also have to protect the innocent whose lives could be ruined by one person spreading a lie. Let me know in the comments below what you think.
I feel like I was really harsh to Abby in that video, so I am going to say some nice things about her. Let's end this on a positive note. She's beautiful. I mean, like, she's got awesome hair. Like, look at that hair. She's got an amazing background. Like, obviously she is good with interior decorating or whatever. So that's cute. I bet her house is just lovely. She's smart, obviously. I mean, she fooled me in a lot of ways. Took me a while to see what she was doing there. She's smart. She cares a lot about people, particularly men. So I can say she's very empathetic for them. Having empathy is good. She's a good opera singer if you're into that kind of thing. I guess even if you're not, she'd still be a good opera singer. It seems like she puts... Wait, no, that's not good. Seems like she's probably a good cook. Oh, here's a great one. She puts herself out there on YouTube. That is hard to do. I know, because I do it. People say whatever they want when they're behind that keyboard. It is ridiculous. I know she's gotten a lot of hate for a lot of the videos that she's put out there. I can see why, but I also know that it's not easy to deal with constantly having people throw rocks at you and to keep going and to keep doing what you're doing. So she's a strong person. That's just my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. It is one of the most important videos I have done this far, and I appreciate you watching it. It would mean so much to me if you would share this video in particular and go ahead and give it a like and comment down below. Let's get this video up and out there to show people that we can still doubt somebody has been sexually assaulted, but we don't have to be about it. Thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next video. Later, freaks. This is an honest question to you, Abby. I know I'm assuming you don't have a sister. I haven't read anything about it, so I'm assuming you don't. Honestly, I think I already know the answer, but if a woman who you were close to or who you are close to came to you, confided in you, said that they have been sexually assaulted, would you believe them? What would you say to them? I really feel like you would be saying, where's your proof?